The man had just dropped his daughter off when a terrorist attack happened. A huge blast wave knocked him down. When he woke up again, he rushed into the smoke in a hurry, but all he found was his daughter's body. So the man took out all his savings, only hoping to catch the killer quickly. The sheriff had no choice but to tell him. The attack was planned by a terrorist group called RIA. After hearing this, the man left without hesitation. Soon he locked onto the target, an Irish politician, once a leader of RIA. The man went to find him, hoping to get answers from him, but the politician refused to say anything. Seeing this, the man said no more. He walked into the toilet, took out the prepared explosives, tied the bottle mouth with a rope and hung it in the air. Then he lit a cigarette. After that, the man left calmly. A violent explosion threw the whole building into chaos. No traces were found at the scene. The politicians in the building were furious, but this was just a small warning from the man. He would do anything for revenge. Soon his second revenge came. The man made a batch of bombs at home. That day, when the politicians' men were about to drive, one of them suddenly noticed something wrong. He opened the fuel tank carefully and found a note inside with a name on it. It turned out the man didn't plan to kill them. He just wanted to tell the politician he could kill him anytime. The politician had to return to his manor. He had an elite special police team deployed there. He thought he could rest easy this way, but all this was part of the man's plan. He drove to the politician's manor, covered his car with branches, and erased his tracks. At night, he snuck into the stable with bombs and took care of 2 sentries easily. As the countdown hit 0, a huge flame burst through the stable. When the politician heard the explosion, he rushed out of the manor. He knew this was the man's final warning. The enraged politician sent men to arrest the man. In the carpet search, they soon found traces of the man. Little did they know this was all the man's plan. The first man stepped into the woods and was tripped by a steel cable. The man hiding nearby immediately covered him. The others found the man's backpack, and as they walked forward, their feet were pierced by traps. Using these traps, the man took down all the men. He grabbed one of them and forced him to tell who really killed his daughter. To survive, the special forces soldier had to reveal where the killer was hiding. The man rushed to the target location, ready to finish his revenge.
I was washed ashore by the waves. When I woke up and looked around, I saw the bodies of my companions. I was extremely frightened. After searching around, I realized I was the only survivor of the shipwreck. I held back my grief and buried my companions on the shore. Afraid of the creatures on the island, I spent the whole night sitting in a tree. Early in the morning, I saw the sunken ship, and hope ignited in me again. I climbed onto the ship, hoping to find some food, but as soon as I reached the cabin, I heard barking. I raised my axe and broke open the door. Inside was my beloved dog. I also found some guns and food, so I made a raft, moved all the necessities and the dog onto the raft together, and then used the power of the waves to transport the supplies to the shore. After some repairs and adjustments, I decided to explore the forest, but I walked for a long time and didn't see a single person. The next moment, I froze. At the end of the forest was still the sea. I collapsed to my knees. I was alone on Tyre Island. How could I survive? To make rescue easy, I had to live by the shore. Months passed, and no ships appeared. One day, I was fishing by the shore when the dog suddenly started barking. At first, I didn't pay attention, but while drinking water, I saw a ship in the distance. I couldn't believe it, so I quickly ran to light a bonfire. Unfortunately, the ship didn't notice me. I fired several more shots, but they were drowned out by the sound of the waves. I even jumped into the sea, but everything was in vain. Finally, I was washed back to the island by the waves. I completely broke down, but hearing the dogs barking, I calmed down again. After this incident, I realized that I would probably have to stay here for a long time, so I had an idea and built a small house. There were all kinds of small animals on the island, as well as a natural waterfall. I lived a fulfilling life every day. I also erected a monument to record the number of days I had been stranded. Gradually, I adapted to this kind of life. Usually, apart from going out, I played the flute, and the little dog danced beside me. But it was nothing but making the best of a bad situation. One day, while taking a leisurely walk, I saw a big footprint. I felt something was wrong, and immediately ran back to my residence. After loading ammunition, I followed the noisy sounds to the depths of the forest. I saw indigenous people holding a cruel ceremony. Seeing that a second person was about to be killed, even though I was very scared, I still fired a shot. In the chaos, the man escaped. We ran into each other on the road. Suddenly, he snatched my gun. He didn't know how to use it and thought it was just a stick. The tension between us was palpable. To protect myself, I shot him.